Now that 2023 has come to an end, I want to show you my progress in achieving financial independence so that early retirement is a great possibility when I turn 45 years old. I want to emphasize that the retire early portion of my FIRE movement is optional. The financial independence part of my FIRE movement is what matters more. Almost everyone I know who's on their FIRE journey just wants to have the option to quit the day job at any time. If I like my job and my physical health is fine, I don't see a reason why I won't continue doing it. But get ready to take notes because this is going to be a juicy video. And I am fired up to show you my plan to achieve my financial independence number. My financial independence number is $3.7 million with $144,000 a year in passive income. That's based on a 4% withdrawal rate. Do I prioritize $3.7 million or $144,000 a year? I definitely prioritize the $144,000 a year in income because I might not need all $3.7 million in order to make $144,000 a year, right? But that is the FIRE number, and I could potentially retire earlier with less than that amount if I choose to. But I choose to retire with at least $144,000 a year because I want to travel the world and live a good life. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to live a good life. Not everyone has the same goal as I do. You can always download my financial independence calculator for absolutely free by visiting firestatechat.com/resources. That spreadsheet can help you figure out your FIRE number. I started my debt-free journey way back in 2013 when I had over $110,000 in consumer debt at the age of 27. And I became debt-free in 2016. And at the age of 30, I began my financial independence journey. The Millionaire Next Door behind me on my shelf was the book that really inspired me to start my FIRE journey. After I paid off my debt, I managed to save 50, 60, and sometimes 65% of my income. And 8 years later, I'm currently at around $1.3 million going into 2024. And I don't want you to misunderstand the intent of this video. I'm not here to show off what I achieved, but to actually show you that it is entirely possible to do it. This is coming from someone who once had over $110,000 in total consumer debt, divorced, child support, and basically starting from scratch. And I became very determined and intentional with my savings. I managed to do all this at the same time, and I got to travel the world. And to show you how I prioritize my investments, let me first show you the timeline of my retirement withdrawals. My wife works for the state, and she can buy back up to 5 years from age 55 to age 50 using her 457B plan. So the earliest she can collect her pension is at the age of 50. If she works there for over 30 years, the estimated pension income is between $75,000 and $90,000 a year. Let me tell you, the government pension is still very good. And because I'm gonna be retired as a military reservist, I won't get my military pension until the age of 58 with some reduced years. And I'm estimating at about $40,000 a year at that point. And if I decide to work until I'm 55 years old, then I can start withdrawing from my 401k penalty free, but I'll still owe federal and state income taxes for it. And if I decide to retire earlier than 55, then I won't be able to withdraw from my 401k until 59 and a half. And as soon as I turn 59 and a half in the year 2047, I can start withdrawing my Roth IRA earnings tax-free and penalty-free. And I can start withdrawing from my TSP from all the military years to start withdrawing penalty-free. Unfortunately, all of my TSP is in pre-tax dollars, so I will have to pay income taxes on the distributions. And if Congress doesn't make any changes to the Social Security laws, then I will have the option to take the early Social Security pension at the age of 62. We also have the option to take the full pension at age 67 or the maximum pension at age 70. It really depends on our financial situation at the time, but I would most likely take the early pension at age 62 and just invest that money into the market every year because we shouldn't need to rely on it. And this is more of a nice to have income when we're in our 60s. And then at the age of 65, we're going to be enrolled in Medicare. We'll also use our HSA to pay for Medicare Part B premium because the laws actually allow us to do it instead of directly deducting from the Social Security pension. And the HSA is something we can use at any time throughout this timeline. If we spend $100 in 2023 with cash for a qualified medical expense under the HSA guideline, then we can reimburse ourselves $100 from the HSA at any time because there's no expiration date on the reimbursement. We could do it 2 years from now, 5 years from now, or 20 years from now. So all of our efforts are focused on between now in 2024 and 2033. I have about 8 years until I turn 45 years old. If I can achieve my FIRE number by age 45, then that's really nice. If I don't, then I'll just work a little bit longer and keep investing. What I really focus on is my long-term retirement plan. If my FIRE strategy doesn't work out, I still want to make sure that I'm investing the maximum retirement contributions that will guarantee my retirement income in my 60s. I don't want to work when I'm in my 60s at all, okay? So no matter what happens, I will always prioritize my HSA, Roth IRA, employer-sponsored retirement accounts, and pensions in that order. I still have 22 years until I turn 59 and a half, so I have plenty of time to grow my retirement investments. But I want to make sure that I max out my retirement every single year. But how do I maintain the cash flow if I choose to retire early? The first method I'm going to use is what's called a 5-year Roth IRA conversion strategy. And let's use my 401k as an example. Let's say I invested $500,000 in my traditional 401k in pre-tax dollars when I retire. And I'm still going to have the standard deduction, but starting at the lowest marginal tax rate, starting at 10%. Just for this exercise, let's just assume that my marginal tax rate will be at 12%. And let's say I retire at the age of 45. For the first 5 years, between the ages of 45 and 49, I'm not going to be able to withdraw any of my money from my 401k. So I'm just going to convert $50,000 a year and owe $6,000 in taxes every year, which is a net conversion of $44,000 per year. But starting at the age of 50, because 5 years have passed, I can withdraw that $44,000 from my Roth IRA tax-free and penalty-free when I converted that at the age of 45. That's right. You don't need to wait until you're 59 and a half to withdraw the Roth IRA conversion that came from the pre-tax retirement accounts. While I withdraw $44,000 a year, I'm going to continue to convert $50,000 a year and pay about $6,000 in taxes at a 12% marginal tax rate. Again, this is an assumption, right? If my marginal tax rate remains at 12%. So I am getting paid $44,000 a year and I am paying $6,000 a year in taxes. And by the time I turn 55 years old, I should have converted all of my traditional 401k dollars to my Roth IRA and just withdraw $44,000 a year, tax-free and penalty-free. But why not convert all of $500,000 at the same time? Because the marginal tax rate of $500,000 based on 2024's tax rates would put me at a 32% marginal tax rate or 22% effective tax rate. And I would end up owing about $106,000 in taxes for that one-time conversion. That would defeat the purpose of saving money on taxes, right? And by the time I turn 59 and a half, I can start withdrawing from my Roth IRA earnings and Roth 401k earnings. So between the ages of 45 and 50, I could live on our dividend income for $50,000 a year from our taxable brokerage account, business income for, let's say, $50,000 a year, cash for $24,000 a year, capital gains from stocks at $20,000 a year, or use the SB lock or S block to supplement my income. Now, I'm using cash because, as I said before, I can't use my Roth conversion money until I'm 50 years old because of the 5-year Roth conversion rule, right? So I'm using cash to supplement that portion of my income because the IRS can't tax me for using cash. It's not an active income stream. However, my business income will be taxed as federal income tax rates under the S corporation. The dividend income will be taxed at 0, 15, or 20%. In this case, it should be between 0 and 15%. The IRS can tax me on the SB lock because that's a line of credit with a taxable brokerage account. And between the ages of 50 and 58, I should still make $50,000 a year in dividend income, if not more. And I'm also going to have $44,000 a year in Roth conversion, income tax-free and penalty-free. If the state pension fund kicks in at the age of 50, that $75,000 a year could make a big impact because we might just have enough to live on with 3 income streams. However, if taxes start to become a problem or become a concern, then we could always use other income sources like the SB lock on our taxable investments. If I still earn money from my business, from Fireside Chat at that time, then I would just reinvest back into my retirement accounts like the Roth IRA and 401k because business income is considered active income in the eyes of the IRS. And if I end up selling my business and just call it quits at the age of 55, I can start withdrawing from my 401k at the age of 55 penalty free. I'll still have to pay income taxes, but the 10% penalty will be waived under the rule of 55. When I turn 58 years old, I should get an additional $35,000 a year in military pension, which is also another taxable income. After I turn 59 and a half, I can start withdrawing from my Roth IRA, Roth 401k, and other Roth accounts tax-free and penalty-free. Could I possibly leave the Roth investments alone and just keep living on the pension income? Absolutely. And what I really need to make sure is that I have enough income streams throughout my early retirement. That's if I retire early. Even if I don't retire early, I know I'm still going to have enough money in my retirement accounts like the 401k, Roth IRA, and HSA so that I don't have to work in my 60s. I'm really focused on the financial independence part of the FIRE movement because I want to have the choice to retire if I want to or not. I don't know what my physical health will be in my 40s or 50s. Parkinson's disease runs in my family. So that's always a scary factor that I often think about. And I'm also investing now so that my daughter doesn't need to take care of me. I want her to have her own life and become somebody. I'm going to have enough money for my daughter or grandchildren so that they can do anything, but not too much so that they end up doing nothing. And this has been another beast of a video, and I hope you got a lot out of it.